Hey, welcome back to Pearls of Motherhood, the podcast where we talk about identity, motherhood, and the parts no one prepares you for. I'm your host, Tessie, and if you're listening right now, maybe you're in the carpool line, maybe you're folding laundry, maybe you finally locked the bathroom door for 2 quiet minutes. We're really glad that you're here.
And I'm Diana, and today we're talking about something that sits quietly under the surface for so many women. How do you stay you while raising everyone else? Because this question doesn't usually scream, it actually whispers. It shows up in small amounts, like in the mirror, in your calendar, in that tiny ache when you see someone else pursuing something. You think, I used to love that.
Yeah, because motherhood is beautiful. It stretches you, it deepens you, it makes you softer and stronger at the same time. And if we're honest, there's seasons where you look up and think, wait a second, where did I go? I'm totally lost here. And like sometimes that thought comes with guilt, sometimes it comes with tears, and sometimes it comes with numbness. And we want to talk about that gently and honestly.
But before we could go further, I want to name something that completely changed how I see motherhood. It's the transition into motherhood, and it actually has a name. It's called matrescence, and it describes the physical, emotional, hormonal, neurological, relational, and identity shift that happens when a woman becomes a mom. So we talk about adolescence and how that's a huge transformation, brain changes, mood swings, identity shifts, body changes, and we expect teenagers to feel disoriented. But what about matrescence? We expect women to smile and bounce back, and that disconnect can make mothers feel like they're failing. Your brain literally rewires in motherhood. The parts that are responsible for vigilance and empathy, they light up, and you become more attuned to threats and more sensitive to your child's cues. You're basically more alert. Your priorities reorganize, your tolerance will shift, and that sense of self expands. But sometimes it feels like it fractures before it settles.
Yeah, that explains so much because, like, when you're in it, it can feel like you're falling apart, and it totally does. Like, it feels like I'm falling apart every single day. And it happens in the small things, like you can't remember simple things. It's like total mom brain.
Mhm.
And or your emotions are bigger. Oh, what is that? That's definitely like your hormones.
Yep.
And then you just feel like a crazy person, or like your world got smaller and bigger all at once.
Yes, exactly. But what if you're not falling apart? What if you're actually under construction? I think of mattress sense as like remodeling a house while you're living in it. Some walls are being removed, rooms are being repurposed, furniture is in the wrong place, and there's dust everywhere, and nothing feels settled. And then you're trying to cook dinner in the middle of all of that. And that disorientation isn't failure, it's actually renovation.
Yeah, okay, think about it. If you've ever done renovation, you would know. They're obviously messy before they're beautiful. They start out like a complete mess. They make a mess. They look horrible. And but then at the end result, it's like really gratifying actually and like
Mhm.
amazing. So you don't walk into a remodel mid-process and then judge the house and be like, "Oh, this house is awful." But like we judge ourselves mid renovation all the time because we're still growing. We're like every day we're still becoming who we are ultimately going to be.
Yeah. And here's another part that we don't say out loud. When you remodel a house, you sometimes have to tear down something that used to work. So there can be grief. There can be grief for freedom, grief for spontaneity, grief for quiet mornings, or grief for being able to leave the house in 5 minutes. That's all valid.
I grieve for all of those every day.
Same. I am always late all the time. Quiet mornings, oh, those were nice. So so grief for the version of you that didn't carry this much responsibility. Remember when we were carefree?
Such an easy life. I'm like, what did I do with my life back then? I wasted it away. I will tell you that.
I don't think I know I filled it. I thought I was very busy, but in retrospect, no.
I
No,
know.
now I am.
Oh my gosh, I know. I don't even know how I make it through the day. I don't even know how I do it. Like, how do we get everything done that we do? I don't even
Uh,
know. There's not even enough hours in the day.
no, there is not, and the thing is that I don't know how you get through a day with 5 kids. I only have 1, and I'm like, "Where did the day go?" So I
It
can't
goes
even
so
imagine.
fast. Yeah.
It does. Here's something that's interesting, and I was so embodied in this grief of what my life used to be, but then I realized that grief and gratitude can exist at the same time. I never thought of it that way. Missing who you were doesn't mean you don't love who you're becoming, right? It
Mhm.
just means that you're a human. And when I finally realized that grief and gratitude can exist at the same time, I said, "Oh, this is interesting. This is a different perspective of looking at things."
Yeah, like you're grieving the life that you had before. And I think like a lot of us can fall into this trap where we're like just waiting for the future. Like, okay, well, I just can't wait for my kids to grow up or for this season of my life to be over or for, this to happen. And what we're doing is we're just like, we're not actually living in the moment and enjoying. This is where we're supposed to be. This is where we're meant to be right now. So we get caught up in like, okay, we're grieving the past. We're waiting for the future because it's going to be more like our past,
Mhm.
presumably. I don't know, but
I don't
but like don't fall into that trap because it's all beautiful. It's like this is the whole purpose of life.
that's something that I've really learned since becoming a mom is that every part of your life is a season. When I was younger, especially when I was a kid, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be forever," you think that you're
Mhm.
gonna be stuck in this until you're like 110, but in reality, it's literally a week.
I
It's
know.
only a week, so it's really not that bad.
Yeah, I know. It's like I struggle with this having, a baby right now. Yes, I want to be able to sleep through the night. Yes, I miss those days and it's really hard being up multiple times at night. But at the same time, like I get to have this like adorable baby that I get to hold and cuddle. And there's like so much good that comes with that. It's like I have to remind myself not to try to rush through it or not to try to not enjoy the moment. You know, yeah, there's good and bad in every season of life. When you really think about it, there's good and bad. Okay. Yeah. When we were younger, we had a ton of time on our hands. We could do whatever we wanted. But like, let's be real, we were probably a lot lonelier. Like, we're never lonely now, but
Well, sometimes it feels lonely, but I'm never alone.
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, and like I definitely got way less cuddles. I guess I had my cat back then. Now that I think about it, but my cat would always hiss at me when I tried to cuddle her.
You needed a puppy. You needed a puppy.
Yeah, so there's just like good and bad in every season,
Mhm.
So
And it's
yeah,
just a
you have the
season.
sleepless nights, but you get this cute little baby. Who doesn't
Mhm.
want that?
I know. I know. So why do moms feel like they disappear? If you add in the mental load, the constant planning, the oh, I miss the old me, the nostalgia, the anticipating, the scheduling, remembering. It's like running operations for a small company, but no one checks out. So you're the CEO of snacks and transportation and doctor appointments. Laundry. Oh, laundry logistics. Birthday party gift coordination.
Oh, yeah, that
Oh
one.
my god. And for so many women, it's not just kids, right? It's our aging parents too. So it's
Mhm.
appointments in 2 different directions, worrying in 2 different directions, responsibility in 2 different directions. We are the bridge generation, and we're
Mhm.
holding it together for everyone. And slowly and quietly, you kind of slip to the bottom of your own list. And you may not even notice it. There's no big announcement. It's not dramatic, but just one postponed appointment at a time, right?
For
I mean,
yourself. Yeah.
yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And so, like, when was there a moment that you realized that, like a specific wake up call? Do you feel like?
Yeah. It actually happened, at the end of the year. You know how we get those alerts from our, health insurances, or, like, our doctor's offices will call and say, "Hey, it's the end of the year, you haven't been in," and all of a sudden, I had all these appointments for me, the pediatrician is done, my husband's doctors are done, their dentists are done, their vaccines are all updated, and then I look at my calendar and I'm like, "Oh, no. I didn't do my OB appointment. I didn't get my mammogram. I did not see my PCP.
So
I
true.
I ran out of contacts. Like, I kept on stretching that last pair of contacts because it was easier to do that than schedule an actual appointment, and I realized, "Oh, wow, everyone else I've maintained everyone else's health but my own."
Yeah, I mean, similarly, I broke my foot not too long
Yes.
ago, and
Mhm.
when I went finally got the okay to start walking again, I was written a prescription to go to PT. Well, guess who doesn't have time to be going to PT and who never did it? That would be me.
Mhm.
And like my foot was so sore for like a month. I was walking on it and it was sore, but it's like you just push through. And I actually was just thinking the other day, like I should probably go to PT, but it's probably too late at this point, like what are you gonna do? It's
Actually, I don't think it's ever too late for PT, honestly. I think they can always help with something.
that's true.
But
It's such a
yeah.
quiet kind of like self-neglect. It's not dramatic, it's not reckless. It's just like slowly postponing like our
Mhm.
own priorities for us. And then
Yep.
I wonder if that's why like once we once our kids are grown and then all of a sudden we have all these health issues potentially like I literally am asking my husband all the time, okay, I have like an hour. Do I eat? Do I sleep? Do I exercise or do I rest? Like those are my four things that I want to do,
Mhm.
but I'm so exhausted but I want to exercise. I'm postpartum, right? I want to
Mhm.
exercise and lose this baby fat, but I'm so exhausted. And so it's like, should I really be doing that to my body and going and riding my bike for an hour and pushing myself? Is that the right thing to do? You know what I mean? Like, how do you know what to do?
Yeah, you're just so caught because you know that if you exercise, you'll feel better. But at what point are you pushing yourself too far because you
Yeah.
actually need to rest and recharge and eat something and use the
Yeah.
bathroom or
Yeah,
any
and
of those
actually
things?
relax. Lay
Yeah.
down and relax for 5 minutes?
Yeah. It's very subtle. And, when those moments happen, do you ever feel resentful? Like, do you feel that way?
Hmm, it just feels like maybe because it's like all these things that I want to do. Because really, what do I want to do? If I prioritized what I want to do, like obviously I want to exercise first. I want to go and do something, be with my kids, number one.
Mhm.
But what do I end up doing? I end up resting. I end up taking a nap or being away from my kids so that I can actually sit down and relax. And like, that's not what I want to do. So, yeah, I guess that's like a little bit of resentfulness.
I can definitely say I feel resentful, but not towards my family or my kid. I'm angry at myself is really what it comes down to because
Mm-hmm.
I made myself invisible.
Mm-hmm.
And that angers me because I see everyone else, but I made myself invisible in my own system. And then there's guilt and somewhere along the way, we absorb this message that good moms are selfless and that the more invisible you are, the better you're doing. Hey, that's great. But when that selflessness turns into self erasure, becoming invisible, something in you starts to shut down. And when you shut down, there goes your joy, my patience for sure, your creativity. And, that affects everyone because, if mom's not okay, the family's not okay. That's what it comes down to, right?
Yeah, it does. And like, you got to take care of yourself because health is the most important thing in life. If you don't have health, and trust me, I know I get migraines where I'm debilitated for days. And if you're not healthy and you can't be with your kids, like you got to prioritize that. You know what I mean?
I saw this meme on Instagram, and she's a fitness expert, and she had just had her second baby, and she had a message that really resonated with me that said, the laundry's still going to be there, the dishes are still going to be there, but your health is not always going to be there. And I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, yeah, that's a good point."
It's
You're
like if you
like,
don't use
"Okay."
it, you lose it when it comes to your
Yes.
muscles, probably
Mhm.
as the older you get. And that's the thing, like, I really try to prioritize being with my kids than doing chores. Like, I don't care, you know what I mean? Like, I would rather be with them, especially when they're little.
I
But then
know.
at the same time, it's like, how can you exercise while incorporating your kids? You know, even just going on a walk with 5 kids. Can you imagine? Well, they wanna stop and pick every flower and look at every rock, and they wanna run out on the road, and you're constantly yelling. That is not relaxing or enjoy.
I would I would imagine that it's like, being a dog walker.
So bad. I used to love going on my walks every day. I'd put the 2 in the double stroller and we'd go, and then but just, like, as you add them, that falls off the wayside. It's more I'm, like, hanging out in the backyard while they're playing type of thing.
I
And maybe it's like I gotta, like, be bending over and picking weeds or something. Being productive for sure can help.
I firmly still think that I need to put a stake in the middle of my yard and put a bungee cord on one end and tie the other end to my daughter and let her just run. So she can't get away too far, she'll bounce back, but she can just run her energy off.
Yeah, so why don't we talk about some ways that we can, like, help with this, right?
Yeah. Wanna
Maybe
call
some
them
solutions.
maybe we could call them the pillars?
Yeah, the pillars.
You wanna start with the first one?
Okay, so number 1, you need some say in your own life, like around your own autonomy. Okay, it starts
Mhm.
with this. You need some say in your own life. When every decision revolves around someone else, your nervous system starts to feel trapped. And sometimes that trapped feeling, it shows up as irritability or numbness or scrolling at night because it's the only thing that makes you feel like it's yours. And even like small choices matter. And then choosing the music in the car, drinking your coffee hot, sitting down while you eat instead of hovering. No, that's not going to happen. I actually don't. I drink cold coffee while I'm walking around the house doing things. Like I don't sit down and drink my coffee.
I like cold coffee. I like iced coffee,
Oh
so
no. So scheduling your appointments before everyone else's or try to like at teeth cleaning, like I try to schedule it while I'm there for the next 2
Mhm.
times so that I don't forget. And like just even just doing like tiny little things, they can remind your brain that you still exist, like you still are important. And this way you're not just reacting all day to whatever happens and you're actually choosing. You're making the choices. And this is the thing about it is it can feel very daunting like when you think about it cuz when you try to think logically, but it's just one little step at a time. Just do little tiny steps and it can
Mhm.
really make a big difference.
Yeah, that's so powerful being able to choose, right? Rather than having something done to you, knowing
Yeah.
that you made that choice, that it's on your own autonomy, that's empowering. You
That's
know,
true.
it
Yeah.
is. You don't wanna go away, you don't wanna escape motherhood, but
Yeah,
it's
we love
it's about
motherhood. We
yeah,
love our
it's
kids.
great. But sometimes you just wanna be you, right? And so it's about
Yeah.
living inside it too, you don't need a week away to reclaim yourself, although that would be really nice.
I would be so bored though. What would
I
I
would
do with
too.
myself?
You need, like what you need is small daily ownership, like, what's one choice that you did was mine? Is there anything that you've done lately, Tessie, that you've done just for you?
You know, like, I feel like something that I do every day just for me is I make sure I take my shower, and sometimes it doesn't end up the way that I want it, but
Mhm.
it's like, okay, I take 2 showers a day, but, like, that's where I brush my teeth. So if I don't take my shower, I still brush my teeth. But anyways, like, it's relaxing, and yeah, okay, it doesn't always end well because all the baby will be crying and I'll have to get out early or something will hit the fan and then I'll have to jump out or help or but like I don't know, it's just a small thing that I make
Mhm.
sure that I do every day for myself, even if I don't
I love
eat
that.
that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Showers to me non-negotiable. I get 1 shower a day and I enjoy it. I have mastered the 6-minute shower and have learned to really make the most of it. Like, I have this nice shower spray to go in there. I have these melts to go in there to just, like, take a deep breath and pretend I'm at a spa for
Spa
6
day.
minutes. Exactly.
Turn it extra hot so it feels like you're, like, in a hot tub or something.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, so let's go to pillar number 2, shall we?
Okay.
So, number 2, act like yourself before you feel like yourself. So, this one I struggle with because I love planning and I like to have everything perfect before I act. And
Mhm.
that is not going to happen in motherhood. So, I am learning to just do it and then let the rest kind of roll out. If you if you act like yourself, the feeling follows. Feelings often lag behind action. It's been scientifically proven. So, for example, if you love to write, write for 10 minutes. It doesn't have to make sense, just write for you. If you love to move your body, move it. Even if it's in your living room, running after your kid or just go for a walk. If you love
Mhm.
getting dressed up, put on some makeup. If you love reading, put the phone down and read like a page or two just for you, not for the kids.
Mhm.
Identity comes back through repetition and not through waiting.
Yeah, it's like reminding your brain who you are. It's like retraining your brain, like knocking on the
Mhm.
door of your old self and saying, "Hey, I'm still here. I still enjoy doing these things even if you're not doing them to the same extent. Still do them, even whatever makes you happy."
Yeah.
You So, like, what about you? What's something you stopped doing that you miss that you could add like little micro doses of?
In my spare time, when I had tons of spare time, I would go to the gym. I was super fit. I used to go sometimes I
Mhm.
would go even twice a day, early in the morning and then after work because I had the time. Well, now I don't get to the gym and that I really miss that. So
Mhm.
I just have to do it. I just have to go and press play.
Mhm.
And even though I don't want to, even if it's a 5 minute out of a 30-minute yoga video, at least I did something. And
Yeah.
I've been doing that. That's been something I've really been working on in the last few weeks for me, and I actually am making it a habit again, and I miss it. If I don't do that 5 minutes, I'm like, "I have to do it," I
Mhm.
need that 5 minutes for me, and that's something that I've done for myself, and it's not huge, but it's just something.
Yeah, this is something I really struggle with and I should actually probably implement more into because I am such like an all or nothing kind of person. It's like if I am not going to finish that yoga video, I am not going to start it, you know?
Yep. That's
And
exactly
so
how I am.
yes, and
Yep.
I just struggle with that. Like my brain, it's so easy to put on a little YouTube workout video at home. I don't have
Mhm.
to go anywhere, but I don't do it because I know I'm going to get interrupted or I'm not going to be able to finish it. So maybe that's actually something I should start working on. So instead, what I do is I just take the stroller and I'll go around the block because it's like
Mhm.
once you're out and you're like past the point of no return, it's not like you can stop. So I force myself to do things that I can't like turn around and stop doing or just instantly stop, you know?
It reminds me of what someone told me while I was hiking is when you get to your destination, that's only the halfway point. You still have to come home. So that's what it reminds me of. It's like,
Oh, I
"Oh,
know.
yeah, now I got this far. I have to go back now. I have to keep going."
Yeah. So that's where when I was like really pregnant, my midwife would be like, only walk so far and then turn around. Like, don't be, because you have to come
Get
back
home.
still. And I can tell you, since I'm all or nothing, like I'd be super pregnant and I would walk my regular route. And then I'd literally have to call my husband to be like, come pick me up. I'm too tired.
Me too. When I was pregnant, super pregnant, it was summer, it was at, like, the middle of summer, and I tell my husband I'm going for a walk, and he's like, "Not 3 miles. It's 100 degrees outside, not 3 miles. Take your phone with you." And I'm like, "Oh, no, I can do it." And I have to remind myself, "No, you cannot do that. You short little walk around let's just go around the block because if
Yeah.
it's too much, you could just go home."
Exactly. 15 minutes out, 15 minutes back. Then you could go 15 minutes the other direction if you want. 15 minutes back, like small steps.
Exactly,
Maybe not even 15. 15 is kind of far.
It is. That's like a mile.
Yeah. All right. So, pillar 3, boundaries are a roadmap for love, actually. Love does not mean limitless access to you. And boundaries are not rejection. They're clarity, they're a roadmap. They show other people how to love you, and they show you how to love yourself. And without boundaries, people are just guessing. They don't know. And guessing usually leads to burnout.
Yeah. So a simple boundary can sound like I can help on Fridays, but not midweek mornings.
Mhm.
Or I want to support this, but I can't do this all by myself. I'm going to need help.
Mhm.
Or I need one evening a week to recharge. That would be so nice.
Mhm.
Or, I can talk for 20 minutes, but then I need to get back to whatever I'm doing. And
Mhm.
having that end there. It's not selfish, it's sustainable, and sustainability is loving, because when you burn out, everyone feels it. Boundaries
Mhm.
don't push love away, they actually protect it, and they keep resentment from building, and they keep you from disappearing.
Yeah, I feel like as you're like talking about this, it's more important to have boundaries with everyone outside of your family, even now more so, because you want to maintain the calmness for yourself when it comes to your kids. Obviously, they're the
Mhm.
most important thing in this situation. And like if you're not holding proper boundaries, like I've struggled with that in the past, doing way too many play groups and during the
Yeah.
week. And then at the end of the week, I'm burnt out. I have a migraine. I'm snapping at everybody, or I'm just like over it and overstimulated. And like the boundaries is what's going to protect and preserve our relationship with our children.
Yeah, that's so poignant. And I you said this maybe last season or a couple seasons ago, and it just stuck with me. You always said, when I say yes to something, I'm saying no to something else. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so powerful, because I'm a people pleaser, unfortunately.
The same.
And
I
and
think
so
women
I
are.
say yes to everything, but then yeah, I am saying no to something else. And then I never looked at it in that perspective. And having boundaries allows me to balance everything.
Yeah, and for me, it's like the worst thing in the world for me is if I say yes to everything outside of my babies, I'm saying no to them. And
Mhm.
when that gets to be too much, that really affects me emotionally. It upsets me. I don't want to do that. So
Yeah.
it's really important. I don't know if anyone else out there feels the same way, but that's like huge.
I agree. I agree. All right, pillar number
Yeah.
4. Check in with who you're becoming. So, motherhood doesn't erase you, it actually remodels you. And if you're intentional, you get to participate in that design. So, every few months, you can ask yourself, what's training me? What's inspiring me? What am I tolerating? What version of me is trying to emerge? And maybe you're becoming more direct, maybe you're becoming more grounded, or you're being more protective of your time, but you're not meant to freeze in one version forever. You're allowed to change and evolve. If you're not evolving, you're kind of dead.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before that even just becoming a mother has changed you in ways that you've never anticipated, and you've evolved and you've become like all of us, me,
Mhm,
evolved, and it just means like that we're actually growing alongside our kids. Our children are changing constantly. They're actually not the same person they were yesterday. Well, nobody is. And so we're allowed to change too. So, and it's like a symbiotic relationship because I do think that we affect each other's change. And so
mhm,
in a positive and a negative way. So when it comes to motherhood, we have to be the leaders. We kind of have to be the ones that are setting that tone and moving the change in the right direction as opposed to the wrong direction. Because like, how easy would it be for us to just check out on our social media all day, give our kids video games and iPads and television, and all of us just check out and like not have any sort of relationship, right? But like, it's our role as their mother. We're all changing and growing. Let's grow in a positive direction, like teamwork and team building and working together and thinking about others and doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Like we can do this together with our kids. It's not something that we have to do alone,
yeah, I
right?
love that. I love that. And, it's basically embodying be the change you want to see, right?
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool. Okay, before we go further, do you want to do some listener mail?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Okay.
This message is from Melissa in Denver, and she just listened to our season 1 episode on parenting styles. And she wrote, I just finished your episode on authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and neglectful parenting. And I realize I'm not just one. When I'm calm, I'm authoritative. But when I'm overwhelmed, I slip into authoritarian and sometimes even a little helicopter. It made me realize how much my stress affects my parenting. Okay, that's like so profound. First
Yeah.
of all, like that kind of reflection, talk about growth. That's
Is it
amazing. And isn't it
Yeah.
true? I feel like she's speaking for all of us.
Mhm.
Wow.
It's something that I can relate to. I think so many of you can relate to it also, and I love that she didn't just box herself into one label because
Yeah.
most of us aren't just one style. We're dynamic, we're fluid, and
Mhm.
when I know when I feel grounded and steady, I'm naturally more warm, I'm responsive, I have clear boundaries, I'm authoritative. But when I'm
Mhm.
stretched super thin, I am so rigid, I stick to my checklist. Like it is my shadow. I am short, I am controlling, I am not pleasant to be around. And that's not a character flaw, that's just simply I am at capacity.
It's so true. As I think about this, like stress does change your tone. Like when I am less stressed, I am more like okay, I'm more calm necessarily. Like I'm more have more of like an authoritative type of like tone or whatever, but it's not
Mhm.
like in a bad way, you know? It changes your patience when we're stressed. It changes how much space we have for negotiation or connection.
Yeah.
And like helicopter moments, those usually come from fear, not from lack of love. Obviously, we want to
Mhm.
protect them.
Yeah. So this ties directly into our today's conversation. When you disappear from your own life, when you're exhausted and at the bottom of your own list, it's harder to consistently parent from the authoritative place that we talked about, right? Regulation requires resources. And if you're depleted, your parenting reflects that because you can't pour from an empty cup. So Melissa, thank you for caring, for listening, and for building a foundation of growth. Parenting isn't about picking a category and staying there forever. It's about awareness. And the more regulated and supported you are, the more likely you are to parent the way you actually want to.
Yeah. And I think like everything we've talked about can tie into that. And we can be more calm if we can just take these little steps.
Yeah.
They're they seem huge though. I get it. I totally get it. Like they seem huge to me too.
Yeah.
So just take
But
one
it's
step at
something
a time.
it's something that we can work on together as a community. We can just take one little step, one pearl each moment, each day, and go from there and see how it goes. And we're not going to be perfect. None of us are perfect.
No.
We're gonna have setbacks, but we can do it together.
At least this is hopefully going to help you think about it in a different perspective. And in those moments where you are feeling overwhelmed or like like you don't matter or that you're invisible, just
Mm.
think these little micro things that I can do that literally like just 5 minutes of doing something that you used to enjoy or that you do enjoy now can make a big difference.
Yep, absolutely. So, should we get into our final pearls? I
Yeah,
think we
let's do
have
it.
6 of them. Okay. Pearl number 1. If you feel disoriented in motherhood, you're not broken. You're in matrescence. It's a phase of your life. Be gentle with yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Number 2, pearl number 2. When you disappear quietly, you have to return intentionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pearl number 3, you need some say in your own life.
Yep. The choice rather than the reaction, right?
Yes, yes.
Pearl number 4, boundaries are a roadmap for others and yourself to love you well.
Yeah, that's so important. That's something I'm going to work on. I think I'm gonna target that one for this week.
Yeah, don't feel guilty for having boundaries. Like people will try to make you feel guilty, right? Or is it just me?
No, no, it's true. It's
Yeah.
completely true.
Yeah.
Pearl number 5, acting like yourself is how you find yourself again.
Hmm. Yep. Like it's like, I've actually heard that if you envision something, like close your eyes and envision yourself, like, let's say, like doing 3-pointer basketball hoops, it's just as powerful as if you're actually physically doing it. If you're just closing your eyes and imagining you're doing it. Have you ever
In
heard
my
of that?
imagination, I can score three-point basketball hoops like nobody's business. Can I actually do it in real life? Nope. So I'm gonna just
Maybe
take
if
your
you
word for it.
practice enough in your head.
M Maybe I need to envision it more.
That's so funny because I'm always saying like, okay, yeah, in your own head, maybe you're a god in your own head. Like I'm always thinking that. Maybe they do. Anyways, and our final pearl for the episode, you are not meant to disappear inside motherhood. You are meant to expand, not shrink, not vanish, not dissolve, expand and grow alongside with your children. This is like a thing that we're doing together with our children. Not it's not like them versus us or us and then them like in separate. We're all like together in the same environment.
Although sometimes it can feel that way, but it's not.
We're not enemies here. We're a team. I'm telling my kids lately, we're a team. You're a team. You're the most important team there is. Like you got to work together, not fight.
Yep. That's So with your expansion, just make sure you expand with yourself, not away from yourself. Schedule the appointment for yourself. Order the contacts that you desperately need, Diana. Make the calls, say the boundary, wear the outfit you want to wear, write the paragraph because you know what? You matter too. And not after everyone else. You matter alongside of them.
Alongside them. All right.
Mhm.
So if this episode resonated, send it to a mom who needs to hear it.
And subscribe so you never miss an episode.
All right. We love you guys. Keep choosing you a little every day.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon. Bye.